Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be doing another transparency update with the portfolio. So just running through the numbers with the portfolio for today, talking about what actually happened in the stock market, and of course talking about my predictions for the future as well, in addition to just what I'm going to be doing in the next upcoming months or so with this portfolio. So with that, if you do enjoy this content and you do enjoy these types of transparency updates, then please make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out and I definitely appreciate it. But anyways, back onto the main topic. As you can see today, we had an absolutely insane day in the stock market. We're at plus 2.84% for just today alone in the normal market hours, which is about $2,440 in total gains for the day. And then in after hours as well, we're at plus 0.16% or plus $143.74. So even after hours is looking slightly good for tomorrow. But as I always say, really the day before after hours, it doesn't really represent what the next day is going to look like, because by the time it gets to the next day, some people have completely different mindsets on what their plan is for that day. So just keep in mind that the day before with after hours is not really representative of what will actually happen in the next day. But as you can see, it started out at 9 a.m. above the market at plus 0.39%, and then up until 9:25 a.m. we are at plus 0.45%, and then pretty much ever since we hit the normal market hours, it was downhill from there up until 9:55 a.m. and that's when we got a really good recovery until pretty much the end of the day. As you can see, I mean, it kind of stopped right here just a little bit, went up, stopped a little bit, went up, went through this little baseline trend right here, and then finally at about 3:10 it started going up even more, and then into the after hours positive again as well. So today we actually had a pretty solid recovery given like the first hour of the market, where we had a pretty nice switch up from being in the negative to being really far in the positive. And the surprising thing about all of this is that it wasn't just either VOO or the Nasdaq doing well. It was actually both of them. So VOO did very well today, plus 1.80%, and then Nasdaq did very well also at plus 1.60%. So as you can see with VOO, we see a very similar trend, and a lot of that probably does have to do with the fact that Microsoft and Apple are both large holdings in VOO. And next up we have Nasdaq. We see a much different trend right here, which I thought was really interesting. So it starts out at like 9:20 a.m. at like plus 1.64%, and then ends the day at around that point. So I thought that was really interesting. But like I've said before, Nasdaq is more focused on tech stocks, and VOO is a little bit more of a wide range. Yes, it does include Microsoft and Apple, but it also includes others as well that aren't really tech focused. So that is one of my issues with VOO. I really do think that tech is the wave and tech is the future for growth stocks. So that's one of the main reasons. If I were to invest in another index, I have to admit I would be tempted to invest in Nasdaq, but I mean, I know VOO has good dividends. I'm not sure about, yeah, so Nasdaq has pretty similar dividends to VOO. But I would probably be more confident in terms of if somebody asked me which one would have more growth, I would probably say Nasdaq, since the tech stocks seem to have more growth lately, especially given the whole Rona situation where these tech stocks are at an even bigger advantage. So I do think that tech stocks are the future. In terms of like an index, I think the Nasdaq has more potential for growth in the next upcoming years or so. And that is just one of my small issues with VOO, is that not only does it include tech stocks, but it includes others that can hold it down as well, like others that aren't performing well right now. So that is one issue. That's another reason why I like to concentrate my wealth on just a small number of stocks, just like these three main stocks right here, because I can have confidence in the future that it will perform well. It's a tech stock. It's a solid growth stock. So all of these are pretty solid options in my opinion if you're looking for something like that. Keep in mind that anything that I say is not to be considered financial advice. It's simply just me sharing my thoughts and opinions and my personal perspectives on these choices. So with that being said, given my thoughts for the future, I'm honestly very confused as to what is going to happen in the next upcoming months or so, or just until the end of 2020. I mean, we all know the election is coming up, and especially on election year, it is kind of one of those iffy things where you don't know how the stock market's going to react. You can kind of get an idea of like, if this person wins or if that person wins, then this will happen with the stock market. So I think it's very iffy with this being an election year. That's one of the main reasons I'm kind of like nervous about the stock market right now. And I know I always preach the buy and hold long-term strategy, but this is like almost an unprecedented time in American society where I feel like what happens in the next upcoming months could change like the next 10 or 20 years in the future. So I have to admit, if I'm being completely transparent, like that goes along with the name of this video, it's a transparency update, I am definitely considering the idea of, hypothetically, if I was to just sell off all of my stocks while I was ahead right now and then just waited to see what happens over like the last remaining months of the year. And, you know, if it goes up 20%, I would probably be a lot less upset than if I had just stayed in the market and it went down 40-30%. But keep in mind, so far my strategy right now is still, as usual, buy and hold long term. But it almost seems to me, I know I recommend not to try to time the market because that's an easy way to lose because you can't really predict a market. But it seems like, especially within the last months of this year, it is pretty highly possible that there could be another stock market crash, not even because of the Rona, but just because of a combination of many other factors. It feels like it's almost 2008 all over again, even though I don't remember a lot of aspects of that year, especially when it comes to finance, because I wasn't really involved in finance. But it does feel like this is a 2008 moment where the stock market is looking really good right now, but in terms of just the next upcoming months or so in the next few years with the future, with everybody on unemployment right now, so many people missing their house payments, we have so many problems in the economy right now, whereas the stock market is performing pretty well, but it almost feels like it's propped up and it's a little bit unrealistic. So as always, I'm definitely a bullish guy. I'm a really bullish guy, and I like to counter the bear viewpoints, but I do think bears have some validity when they talk about how we're in a very weird time for the market, in a very risky time for the market. And I can definitely see why investors like Warren Buffett are just sitting on the sidelines with cash, because it honestly does seem like one of these times where, yes, it may go up in the meantime, but it may be worth just waiting on the sidelines. And if you miss out on a 20% gain, who cares really, because you're really risking a lot by staying in the market. Now, keep in mind, with me saying that, I'm not trying to make a lot of people panic or anything like that. Not trying to do that whatsoever. I'm just presenting some viewpoints that do come to my mind sometimes, even though I'm that type of investor that just says buy and hold long term and don't stress in the meantime. But just full disclosure, like, I want to present, you know, the worries that come to mind as well. It's definitely a concern for me as an investor. And if you are an investor, it's definitely something that will come to mind. It's something you're going to think about and have to decide on. Is it a good idea to just sell while you're ahead? Or is it a better idea to just leave your money in the market and wait over the next 40 years like I've preached before? And honestly, I think that is the best strategy, but it's really hard when you're in a situation where the future is very uncertain. The next 40 years could be very different from what a lot of people are expecting, and that's definitely a concern. And one thing that really does concern me right now is the attack on capitalism, which I don't understand. It really doesn't make sense to me. Capitalism is what makes things affordable for so many people. It just doesn't make sense that people want to destroy capitalism or abolish capitalism. It's the most ridiculous thing that I think I've ever heard. And I was looking at like a moving data chart on YouTube. It's a really good video showing like market capitalization over like the last 40 years or so. And it was showing like the majority of companies throughout that whole 40 years or however long it was mostly America. It was just a ton of American flags. And it just shows how effective the capitalistic system can be, especially for businesses. And in my opinion, capitalism is the biggest motivator for success. Anyone can pull themselves up by their bootstraps because of capitalism. All it takes is hard work and time and effort and perseverance, and you can create a business behind that. And the truth is that anybody can do it. It's not just the rich people. It's not just Bill Gates. You can start from scratch and turn your business into something out of nothing. And I've managed to do exactly that with my money right here, with making money as a content creator on YouTube on another channel. That's where the majority of this money came from, and that is all thanks to capitalism. I was born in a family where neither of my parents got a college education. I went to college on multiple scholarships as a full ride, so I basically didn't have to pay any of my own money. And in the meantime, I created a lot of content for YouTube, made most of the money that you see right here, and then spent some of it in other ways as well. But thanks to capitalism, where I was able to start my own business as a content creator on YouTube, as an independent, as someone that does not have a boss, no one telling me what to do except for, I guess, like YouTube, but they were pretty non-restrictive when it came to that. So it was really nice to be my own boss. I learned what hard work was. I learned to motivate myself, because the only person that can make me work when I'm my own boss is me. me, and I'm also from one of the poorest areas in the United States with some of the worst health outcomes as well. So I really went against all odds when it comes to where I'm at today. And I just want to emphasize there's a lot of people that don't like capitalism out there, but I'm where I am today because of capitalism. And to oppose that and think that something else is somehow the solution is just absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. We're talking about economics here, and that's simply just facts. And that's why America is so great when it comes to the economy. That's why we're the prime example in the world of a good economy. And I just wanted to bring up that point as well, because capitalism is the reason that we have Elon Musk and the reason that Tesla performs so well. Capitalism is the reason that every single stock in this stock market does well. And it does not make sense for America for us to want to eliminate capitalism, in my opinion. If we eliminate capitalism, that's when another country like China takes over and just wants to globalize the whole world. If you eliminate capitalism in America, then America totally loses. And keep in mind, China wants this so bad. They would love for us to eliminate capitalism because it would really benefit China so much. China just wants more control, more and more and more control. That's all they want. But I'm mentioning this because I think it's important. For one thing, I want to present my perspectives on finance. That's a major perspective that I have. I'm a hardcore capitalist. I totally believe in it. Obviously, no system is always perfect, but when it comes to being ideal, I think that's where it's at. And I just wanted to present that perspective because it's something that I definitely believe in, and it's for sure related to the market. This definitely has an effect on the stock market. But as usual, like I said, my strategy for the future is going to be buying and holding for the long term. For now, I don't plan on selling anything, but I was just presenting some ideas in the back of my mind. As you know, as an investor, there's always these thoughts that go in the back of your mind that you do have to consider and think about, and those aspects were just some of them that I thought was important to mention because this is a transparency update like I've mentioned before. And also feel free to share your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. I'm always open to discussion. But with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the numbers for today. So for Microsoft, as you can see, we're at plus 1.51% for today, or plus $577. And then for the total return, we're at plus 16.28%, or plus $5,440. So total return looking pretty solid. The gains for today are looking really solid, about $600 in gains. I'll take that absolutely any day. And then, of course, finally, we have Tesla, once again over 1,000. Like I've mentioned previously, there's just a lot of volatility above and below the $1,000 mark. So as you can see, we're at plus $1,572 for today, or plus 4.82%. And in total, we're at plus 19.95%, or plus $5,689. So we had an absolutely crazy day for Tesla. It really made me big money today. I'm definitely excited about that. And then finally, we have Apple stock, which was at plus 2.70% today, or plus $401. In total, we're at plus 27%, or plus $3,243. So all three of our stocks gained today, even the free stock as well. So I'm definitely hyped about that. But one thing to mention is that we've actually been at this point multiple times. On June 25th, we were near this. On June 23rd, we were near this. And on June 10th, we were near this point. So we have basically just repeated history like 3 times within the past 3 weeks or so. So that's the thing about the market right now. It's kind of boring because my portfolio's been at 88,000 like 3 or 4 times already. So it's just a bunch of up and down right now. So I'd really like to see at least tomorrow, or at least the rest of the days in this week, be the majority in the green or in the positive to finally like maybe hit near 90,000. If we hit near 90,000, I would be really excited about that. But anyways, I just wanted to share my thoughts and opinions about the market. Like I've said previously, and I still believe in this now, I believe in buying and holding long term. So my plan is still to hold what I have right now and hold it for the long term. Just full disclosure. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button. I really do appreciate it. And also feel free to use my referral link in the description to Robinhood and Webull. And if you sign up with that link, then we'll both get some free stocks. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Stay safe out there.